That's just
I could just see Wheezy at Walmart. Some little kid's got one ear and he's got the other, and they're fighting over it. Wheezy's a fighter. I attacked that guy once,
lost.
and man, I have my hands full. I lost. I did.
He's
They
tough.
kicked me out.
Survived.
They banned me. Yeah. They banned me and they kicked me out.
I think we should review this show.
Well, I will, but I don't like watching the shows and doing that. I mean, I'll just hit something and see what it is.
Thank
you. I like yours.
Oh, I like yours
Santa,
too.
But it didn't work out.
I always cost.
See, I never liked this fucking part of the show. I just don't. Sorry, guys.
Same last.
Hey, it's your show, man.
It's unbelievable.
Right.
Really
Everybody does their own show the way they like it.
Do what you want.
I get surprised every day. Bob even quit the show for a couple days. Why do you think that happened?
I think that he was getting bullied, and I think some information came out that he didn't like. I don't address that today, but he was pretty much getting bullied, and he kind of ran away. I've been trying to get him to come back because I think Bob's a very important part of this community, and he shouldn't be chased out of anywhere. If we disagree, we can block each other.
Exactly. I was so sad about Bob being bullied out of this community. I felt like I felt like I was responsible.
Wasn't bullied.
Because he, I brought him in here. I met him on the Drunken Peasants podcast. As soon as I saw him, I knew he was a superstar.
Oh, he is. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, he's a complete superstar.
So does anybody think Bob was bullied? And by the way, if you're not caught up on this is Bob's co-host right here in the mouse ears to his new show.
Yes.
What is it? KRN News.
Yes, I've never seen an actual show of that. Have they actually done one?
Yeah, they've done two.
Oh, wow.
But he didn't wear the ears in the show.
Right. Because the ears are special today for Halloween. We like the ears.
Well, I'm going to be disappointed if he doesn't wear them every time he's on.
Right. Next week is going to be so sad after all the costumes this week when we're all back to normal and prepping for Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I'm trick-or-treating as a firefighter tonight.
Yeah. I think I got my last trick-or-treaters. I don't think there's any more kids coming to the door.
Well, I hope he is a...
Huh? Yep, I had kids trick-or-treating at my house this year.
Wow.
Yeah, probably had 24 kids.
Wow.
Boy, how that's just dying out. That knocking on doors for candy is dying out.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
So
I
guess we get to look at we're looking at Bob here first. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what did you guys think of her song?
Oh, I love it.
I liked it.
I thought the song was cute.
Yeah, I did another one that was a bit more nasty. She played it. Come on.
Legal, did you see the fight the one where Bob had the fight in Texas? Oh, I'm gonna play it for you. I'm gonna put it up here.
Down goes Frazier.
Here comes our co-host right here. He showed it. He fucking made it in here.
There he is.
He's madder. Don't fucking let him, but he made it. Welcome, Rick.
Dumpster. Speak to us.
Is that
I'm here.
Dumpster?
There he is. He's here.
I'm going back and I'm going to go collect that video file of the fist fight between Bobby and
fresh back from the
Mark.
Yeah. Did you
find anything good?
Feral cocksuckers? Rick's got my favorite Rick's got my favorite laugh in the whole
It's
world.
all good, honey. It's all
good. Rob's doing technical things back there now.
Right.
Glad you made it. Glad you're home. When he's out hunting, we're looking at the radar.
No, but the granddaughter of our mayor over here, she killed a big 10-point.
Ooh, damn. Yummy.
Wow.
Good for her.
Yeah, I got it. I've got one picture of him on my camera, but I'm just glad somebody got him.
So, Dumpster, will it make you feel any better when I play this and you get to see Bob get in a fucking headlock and get beat up one more time? Let's watch him get beat up.
Neither one of them got beat bad enough in that.
Hell, go for it.
Yeah. Mark Connors says that a lot.
Look at them
We
tits.
about to get shit-faced. Oh, they one of them pink drinks. We don't admit to our mistakes. So let the crazy begin.
Hey, Mark.
Let's hear it for the good times. Can't take more of Mark Connors' lies. They seem to double in size. So let the crazy begin. We about to get shit-faced. He pled guilty to statutory rape. Kermit and Prince served you on a plate. So let the crazy begin. We about to get shit-faced.
Yeah, there I am.
Mark showed up at Trumpster Bob's place. Got beat up by Bob, what a disgrace. Let the crazy begin.
Oh, yeah.
Let the crazy begin. Let the crazy begin.
Women's round.
Let the crazy begin. 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 Let the crazy begin.
Please leave this property. Look me up.
Look me up.
You won't find my name on any predator list. In this undated YouTube video, Cruz says he's innocent and suggests he made the deal to keep his voting and gun rights. Because I'm not a predator. We had a lot of questions about that, but as you can see, you don't want to say anything in your defense. I can't believe this. He wasn't interested in answering them. After that night, we called Mr. Cruz and again offered to do an interview. He declined. A spokesman for the DA's office that made that deal says they're just following what the law allows.
Yeah, the end is my favorite part. I can't believe this.
We're supposed to be reviewing the show today.
Right.
And
it was like a 3.5 hour long show.
If Mark's going to sue anybody, why didn't he sue the TV station? That's what I don't understand.
I don't know why he's going to sue me. I mean, I had nothing to do with none of it. He was going to.
Oh,
well, yeah,
And
we're going to talk
surprised.
about that. Elisa just, she's mean to all of her guests. She's just mean to everybody.
That's fine. I mean, I knew it was going to be a tough interview, but I knew she was going to be tough. I knew she was going to ask me tough questions. I don't think that she was overly mean to me. There was a couple of things I wanted to stay away from, and she honored that. Stuff that would impact my kids now, and I don't want to discuss it. And I expected it to be a tough interview, so I didn't really feel too worried about it. And I don't want people to think she's going to go easy on me just because we're friends. I needed to have, well, I mean, I've met her through the show. We're polite with each other. I enjoy all the conversations that I've had with her. I haven't had any trouble out of her. I don't think she did anything deliberately to hurt me.
Sorry about that.
I think everybody gets really offended whenever their body of work is called into question. I think anytime your work is insulted or called into question, people get offended about that. Right? I mean, haven't we all kind of had some experience with that?
Well, I'm
Yeah,
going to yell.
I saw that.
Watch the show.
I saw that
You didn't miss nothing, Dumpster. You didn't miss a thing.
Yeah, I didn't expect that when Coach Love called in. That really, I didn't see that one coming. That's just another Kermit and Friends twist. That who knows what next week will be
The
like.
whole show was Elisa and Coach arguing with each other, and Coach did all the arguing. So
the last hour,
I
at least.
watched Sharman's interview with Coach, and I don't think it was a tough interview. I think I'm not sure. You know, I don't think. Do you think it was a tough interview? I think she asked questions.
I thought it was a lighter interview than what I was prepared for. I was prepared for a tough interview, and when it was over with, I was like, "Whew, done."
Yeah. She called me on the phone right before that interview, and it lasted 2.5 hours. Which half of that phone call, I got the 3rd degree.
You got a tough interview.
Oh yeah. I mean, you know, it comes to a point. I just had to agree with her. Whatever it was, I don't care. Just, yeah, you're right.
Rob, they're talking about your new sponsor in the chat there. It's they're having some Malto.
We lost our old sponsor, Modelo. We did something
as soon as I saw beer, I figured I should get mine. Maybe we can get a Bud Light.
Back to the Keystone.
But yeah, you know,
we got a new sponsor knocking on the door. I got a phone call for a Zoom meeting or a Skype meeting, one of the two, whichever one I could get working, with Mulvaney Foundation, I believe.
Yes,
what is that?
They're a big
what is
group.
the Mulvaney Foundation?
They're a big group from the West Coast, aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
They do public service announcements.
Something to do with Malto Meal. Marky Malto Meal.
Nice. I mean, I do personally prefer cream of wheat, but I guess I could eat Malto Meal.
Right.
Rob wants everybody to eat Malto Meal because so I think it's going to be a good deal.
I mean, if they're going to give you sponsorship, I'd be eating a lot of Malto Meal.
Okay, here we go. I'm gonna let you up, but you gotta meet people halfway when it comes to agreeing on things.
Okay.
You're echoing, Coach.
Oh, I'm probably not anymore.
Hi, Coach.
Hey, it's Coach Love.
Hi, sweetie. I'm sorry, what now?
So what do you think about Lisa? Lisa just takes her guests and just yells at them on the show. What do you think about that?
You know what? You're not going to start me. You're just not.
Not taking that bait. Yeah.
You know.
Hey, Coach.
Hi.
Well, I mean, it did happen.
Hi,
it did happen. I saw it.
Listen, I came on here you guys were talking about me. So I thought I would just come on and, answer your questions.
Straighten our shit out.
Well,
right.
You know what? I don't.
First question, and I'm going to ask the tough questions. Do you realize that 90% of these shows are satire and drama, and to have thick skin and reset the next day? Come on.
Yeah, you know what? I'll tell you this. I'm fine with that. That's no big deal. This is just like right now, you talked about us being on the phone and you said that you just had to freaking agree with me. Now, with that
satire and drama.
Yeah, it's satire and BS. You're just going on. You're trying to throw out a narrative and make it seem like, oh yeah, ooh, that Coach Love, I just had to agree with her, which is not the truth. It's freaking false. And so
as a man, whenever I talk to a woman, I just after a few minutes, the words just start bouncing off of me and I don't really hear anything.
Let me ask you this, WITZ. During our conversation, Did I listen to you tell me story after story after story after story?
It's another thing. Being a man, I don't remember.
Well, being a woman, I actually
She
remember.
does.
And yeah,
She remembers it all.
I remember, and I patiently listen to you like I'm willing to patiently listen to somebody, to almost anybody. And you wanted to get all this stuff out on the table with me, and I listened to you. So you really should be going, oh yeah, I talked to Coach Love the other night, and she listened to me for freaking 2 hours straight.
We're good. We're good. I'm not on payroll yet, but it is my job to create content.
Well, everything is content.
Controversy.
Create some, you know what? It's my thing is, if you're going to portray me to be somebody, portray me to be the person that I actually am. Don't portray me of doing something that was false. Like if you had said, yeah, I talked to Coach Love and we had a really good conversation.
That's not exciting, Coach. That's not exciting. It's just not.
Oh, well, you know what? You have the right to feel that way because you have the right to. Well, yeah, I got it. I'm doing that right now, and that's accurate. And so what I'm doing right now, I'm not letting you finish your point because it's crap. You know, you say, yeah, well, I'm letting.
Come on, Coach, cut him some slack. He just has an
today.
opinion.
Was your first. You go, today was my first. Today was. It's not. No, that's your opinion. You're saying today was my first day with watching the show, and this is what I saw, which is fine. But if no,
it's pretty big.
No. I mean, do you want me to just go about my first impression of you?
Oh, Lord.
No, yeah. So your point is that I was combative on the show today? And you want to know what? Yeah, that's a good feeling. Hold on to that, because I don't have to. That's a good. Yeah, be very afraid. If this is scary to you, then hold on to your hat, because I guarantee you I have more. I don't have to be nice to you. I can be nice, and I'm generally very nice, but I will blow your butt up. Okay, know that. Oh, I'm being very honest right now. I don't have to be nice to you. I am nice because I choose to be nice. I've been nice to everybody in this freaking damn community. I've been very, very nice. But if you want to play, if you want to play, and it's all about satire, and we just say bull crap about you, baby, I will burn your ass up. So if that's what you want, that's what you'll get. You know what?
I don't want Coach Love to be my enemy either.
I'm dancing. I dance.
Burn my ass up. Was that about me? Was that to me?
Know that I'm nice to you by choice.
Are you going to burn my ass up? Did I miss something?
No, not you, WITZ. This gentleman with the
Now I am going to catch hell. Here's Weezer. I'm sorry, Weezer, but I had to make fun of the mouse here.
Oh, that's it. Weezy, your audio is really bad.
Weezy, Crazy.
Yo, let me just talk about this. WITZ, when you had made those unflattering comments about Black people and this, did I burn your butt? No, I did not. I talked to you like a human being. I was very kind and very respectful to you.
Again, and I'll say it again. It's a TV show with the Walking Dead, and everybody in there.
No, not that one. Not that one. The other one that we talked about, and for that matter, other people in this community. I mean, I hear the N-word.
Listen here, lady.
No, not you. I'm not saying. I'm not pulling away. I'm not pulling away. But I'm saying that you talked about those things, and I was cool with it. We talked. Did we not talk it through? Did we not talk it through?
Put you backstage to cool off a little bit. I do not play that race card. Does not play on me. Okay, don't play there. Where's she going? Put her back up.
Well, what just happened? That was the same spot that Coach Love was in, and then Weezy arrived. What happened?
What I said, WITZ, was in our conversation.
Wait a minute. Weezy's talking now. Hold on.
Oh, I was just saying hi, guys. That's it.
Oh, hi, Weezy. How you doing? How you doing?
Okay.
I missed the ears. I liked your costume today.
Yeah, you did look very nice. What I'm saying with is you and I had a very nice conversation about difficult things you said. And did I yell at you once? No, I did not yell at you once. I'm not playing a race card. I'm saying that we had a difficult conversation about race. Did we not?
You talk, I listen. Okay.
No, that's not what happened.
Love,
you said, and you were like, oh yeah, and I said this, and I was like, you don't have to apologize to me about that stuff. I'm not hanging it over your head. That's exactly what I said. I said, you don't.
God. Do not come in here with the race cards, please.
It's not a race. It's a conversation card. I'm saying we had a conversation.
No, you didn't like the satire and drama part, so then you brought up the race card. I don't like it.
I'm not. We can talk about satire and drama. We can talk about it.
This is a tough question.
We can talk about it.
Do you realize this is satire and drama? Do you realize that?
Do you realize that?
Why
can't I make my point?
You're a fucking movie star or something, and you fell for it. Now you're going to be angry at everybody. I mean, what happened?
What are you talking about? How come you can say? How come you can have your points and it's satire and drama if you're saying it, but if I'm saying it, I'm not supposed to say it. What's the deal?
Can I say something, Coach Love? Let me say something because I'm neutral. You know I'm neutral.
Yeah.
Right? I'm going to be honest with you. Today, both of you and Elisa both came off bad to me, but you were a little more hateful, and it seems like you guys must really like each other, because if you're not getting along, it's hurting each other's feelings. But it was so it got so personal and so crabby and mean that I think it took your brand down a little bit. It makes you look not Coach Lovable. You get what I'm saying?
I would have to agree. And
I'm not hating on her at all because I watch her show.
Yeah, I like.
You trying to lie to me,
So
motherfucker?
That's Rick's soundboard.
Is that Rick's soundboard? That sounded like Bob for sure.
It was. Rick's got the best. But and Coach, I don't know if you heard us when we came in here. But it was my opinion that Elisa was wrong, that the interview that you did with Charmin was not a tough interview. So it's not like we're bashing you here. It's and there's emotions, when people's feelings get hurt, that I understand that.
We're here to troll Kermit and friends lightly, give them a little freedom tickle, from the Republican side, but we did it in all fairness. Coach and I talked for a couple hours. We had a nice talk, but in this show, here, I don't know what the heck's going on with you and Elisa, but you're angry, and that's an issue because you got to work that out with her. You can't take it out on my show.
And, and Coach was so angry that she did a wrap-up show for us. So I think they're well on the road to mending the fences.
Right, mend them fences.
Tell me if
man.
I'm wrong, Coach.
But this is 99% satire and drama. But the kicker is we're dealing with real lives. You know, so I think anybody playing this game, any one of us sitting on this panel, need to understand this is our real lives. They're going to get brought up, but there's also the satire element, which it's just fucking weird. It's new to me too, and I'm
the way I
learning
look at
fast.
it. Me and you did not get along at first, and I am not the kind of person. That's
Yeah. There you go, Wheezy. We go round and round and round, but I like the guy.
Yeah, me too. I like you too.
See?
Yeah, I think
we're doing the same thing until we found out we were both musicians.
You trying to lie to me?
Yep. Now, Dumpster Rick, on the other hand, just kidding.
Shut the fuck up.
Is Coach Love still here?
I love that soundboard.
Coach,
yeah,
are
the
you still
soundboard's
here?
pretty awesome.
Coach, yeah, you're still with us.
I'm putting that on my list of things I need if I start a show.
Bob soundboard.
I need a Bob soundboard. You bitch.
Review a little bit more of the Kermit
every time
and
I say
Friends
something mean, I'll put Bob's voice up.
I see Coach because I don't hear her, so I don't know.
Yeah, I'm right here.
Okay,
I'm listening. You know, I am patiently listening. And this is what I don't understand. I need the freedom to be able to say
my golden eyes make Charmin crack a smile.
I need to be able to I need the freedom to, when someone is saying something about me, I need to be able to respond. As far as you have to understand that if you can say what you want to say, you give me the permission to say what I want to say back. That's how it works. You don't get to say whatever you want to say, and then I don't say anything back if I choose to. That's if I choose to.
It's just easier not to listen to what people have to say.
I watch you guys, yell at each other, say mean things to each other and about each other on a regular freaking basis. And I honestly,
that's true.
And I honestly stay, I honestly stay out of it.
Smart.
And then, saying, well, I'm taking down my brand or anything like this. Listen, at no point did I ever say that I wasn't human. I am nice to people because I choose to be nice to people. I listen to people because I choose to listen to people. And you want to know what? I'm not going to stop listening. I'm not going to stop listening to people. But by no means does love mean that I am not human, and does love mean that you get to say anything you want to say about me, and I don't get to respond if I choose to. If I choose to.
Totally agree.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah, there was a good point that
we all agree.
In the chat today. There was a good point that came up that women fight more politely than men do.
Yes.
If it had been two men going down, and you men tear each other apart, women fight differently than men do.
That's a fact. Lisa was pissed today.
Weezy's here now, so let's finish watching his part of the show.
You can make fun
This is the after
Hey,
show.
did you wait?
We
I
do
got a
have to
question
review
for
it.
Weezy.
We have
Did
to
you guys
review it.
color coordinate the?
No, I had no idea. I just
So it was perfect.
I didn't even tell her about it.
It was perfect.
Cool.
It's funny.
Wheezy, you're stoned on this show. I could tell by your.
I'm always stoned, bro. I'm 10 minutes away from a split at all times.
Right.
Case of emergency.
Let's review a little more of it since we got the man himself here.
Yeah.
Time to take a break.
I'm gonna let my cat in. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Oh, Weezy, we're about to review it. Well, we're gonna do it without you. We're gonna do it without you. That's the best way. We could talk about him then.
I want to show you how sad I was when Bob left I was just walking home from work.
It's all about
today,
Bob
and I was
now.
Like, I thought the song was
Man,
cute. I like it when she makes the
I don't know
song. I liked it when she made Andy's song. I like it when she redoes Mark's song. I like it when she does the songs.
Bye bye, Bob. Goodbye, happiness.
Need some soundboard, Rick.
Feels like
Need some soundboard, Rick.
bye bye, Bob.
Shut the fuck up.
No challenges. Hello, Democrats. Feels like
Motherfucker.
There you go. Soundboard.
Yeah, motherfucker. Oh, yeah.
Goodbye, Bob. Goodbye, happiness. Hello, loneliness. Feels like I
No more butthole challenges.
Goodbye, Bob. Goodbye, challenges. Hello.
Make Bob great again.
She's so funny.
She is funny. She's smart. She's funny. She's talented. She makes cute little videos and songs.
Yeah. She's funny in a sneaky way too.
Mhm. All the shade.
Yeah, I like Coach Sal. Sweet and sour.
I'm glad Bob's back. I'm glad he's not actually gone.
Bye bye, Bob.
Get you in the jaw right there, like a good cheesecake.
Think of me more like your mother, meaning that I will love, love, love you, but when you get out of line, I'll put my foot up your ass.
That's what my
That's a
mom
good
did.
way to
There you
think
go.
of it.
That's what my mom did.
There you go.
So
Where is Bob?
So what did we think about Bob's explanation? John, you talked about it earlier. Let's talk about Bob's explanation.
I'm unfortunately, due to Mark Connors, I'm more familiar with the legal system than I ever thought I would be. But and I really didn't want to believe him. Okay, so I'll be truthful about that. But when I listened to him and I looked at I made my decision on the details of the case. Okay.
Well, once you consider how horribly broken our justice system is, and if you know anybody that's ever had to go into it, I know people that have like pled guilty to stuff they did not do, but the alternative was them literally going to jail for something they didn't do.
And I agree that happens, but you know that
I believe it happens more often than not. They'll railroad people. I got kids, and they'll railroad you. They'll say, yeah, you're gonna go away for a long time.
You're never gonna see your mother again.
Just say you're guilty. And
I said this at when the information was there that I didn't know. That what upset me was people automatically saying because he pled to a lower charge that a rape didn't happen. That you can't say that, and I wasn't saying either. I was saying that could be the case, or and what after I heard the explanation, nobody gets offered a plea deal after a trial unless they've got a very weak case, period. Okay. So that was a point in Bob's favor.
Here we go yet again. Is law enforcement not care? I mean, there's no DNA taken or presented in any way, size, shape, or form.
Yeah,
I mean, do they even care about these people? Yeah.
Yeah. And then the other thing was the plea bargain, 6 years, which he completed, and he was discharged. And if they would have had a solid case, there is no way they would have let him, even after 6 years, walk without a conviction. So
actually,
It just
Actually,
sucks
I
that
would
he was
think
punished for
I would
nothing.
think once the state gets their hands on DNA, it's out of the victim's hands from there. It's a crime against the state now.
Yeah,
and
and
they
obviously
will
they didn't
pursue
have
it. Yeah, and they didn't have it right.
Yeah. So that's my take on it. I've got other problems with Bob that I probably won't discuss here, but
Who hasn't weighed in yet? Coach, you want to weigh in on that one? What we're talking about?
With Bob?
Yeah.
I think that Bob is an asset to the show. That's what I think.
Amen, sister. Preach.
He said the sweetest thing to me a couple of weeks ago. He said, "I know how to get you free publicity." And I was like, I know he does. I know he does.
I think
got
Bob.
the skills.
You guys know Bob way better than I do.
Are you sure? Are you sure Bob said that to you? Because Mark has this voice he does that's Bob, and he pretends to be Bob.
I was sure it was. I was sure it was Bob.
I hook you up with Dolly Parton.
Or the twin. It could have been the
There's
twin.
something really charming about Bob. He's endearing. People, if you don't know him, at first you hate him, and then you immediately like him. It's very weird.
It grows
and
on
so
you.
I think he really does
Like a
have
fungus.
a great impact for the show. He's great for the show. I mean, I'm sure there's going to be a day where I'm going to be like, fuck Bob. But for right now, I like Bob, and I think he's a great asset to the show. The less I know about his fucking background, especially if it's 20 plus years ago, the better. I don't need to know all of your guys' horrible shit that you did. And I'm not going to ask, and I'm not going to judge you if I found out.
We have one of our panel members, while we're all busy wiping the shit off our nose now with Bob, we have a panel member here that's been very hurt by Bob.
Yeah,
he's not gotten an apology, and he is very hurt. And his friend, our friend, is very hurt.
I respect that. Even though I was mean to your friend, I do respect that.
This will come up on this show later. We probably don't need to play it, but would you like to weigh in, Rick, or would you like to wait until that part of the show?
Rick?
We'll move on.
I have a thought. I have a thought. I have a thought. When we say Bob's an asset to the show, I don't think anybody's saying that Bob hasn't done things that hurt people's feelings. That is part of what Bob does.
Yeah, it's part of the appeal.
I mean, that is what Bob says, stuff that no one else is going to say.
No.
That's what he does.
And maybe you just haven't
these
heard.
These shows are, like I said, 99% satire in that.
Maybe you haven't heard some of the stuff he said, and I wasn't really going to get into it, but I'll briefly say he committed felonies in Florida against my ex-wife and her 80-year-old father that she's pursuing, and those aren't going away, and I understand the assets of the show and all that stuff, but what he did to Rick's daughter, the stuff he did to Christina's daughter, is just unforgivable. And I'm not going to be a friend to a guy, and Bob and I were friends before, and the legal matters that he's done are not out of my hands, but
so I know that you had big
Do you think Elisa does Elisa already know about the things that you are saying that Bob did?
I don't really, I can't really tell you that.
I think so, because she pays attention to the chat, and I've seen you talk about it in chat, and I know she pays attention.
Yeah. And like
Coach, I would like to answer that. I don't think Elisa gives a shit. I think it's her job to provide us content, things that controversy.
And I don't care.
It's not on her. It's just not on her.
And I don't think she'd care if Bob said that about her or her family. That's just a different perspective.
I've said worse. I've said worse about Elisa, and
you said worse about me, buddy.
Yeah, you did bust my balls for a little while.
I know. I liked it. It was fun. I like you, WITZ.
But yeah, and I don't, it's Elisa's show. Whatever she does, she does. All I can say is for myself.
But wait, John. We're going like we're drifting here. I do understand. Coach was her defense was, I'm doing this for you. I'm promoting you. And then, then it came up that Coach was climbing and grifting and whatnot. Well, we're doing a show right now. We're doing the same thing. But, and it's the same thing. I would have the same response. I'm doing this to help you. But I'm trolling you, but I'm helping you at the same time.
Can we put a pause point there, please? I did not troll her. And the reason why I said I was doing it to help her is because she asked me to do it, which is very
Oh, you're making me mad. I didn't say you trolled her. Would you stop with the word games? I was helping you. I'm going backstage again. You're gonna make me mad.
No, but I think, you know what? I think that she did want her to do stuff, and she did. But I think what happened, and I'm just trying to figure it out, but I think Elisa felt like you turned her back on her, and then you were taking people from her show to get content, and you were making Charmin go under unneeded stress by asking her the same questions that she just got asked. And I think that that's her perspective. And if you don't, even if I don't agree with that, I can respect that was her perspective. Yep. But when you guys started going at each other's throats, and it was like, it got ugly. And it's like, wait, are you guys obviously really care about each other? Obviously you wouldn't care. You know, so.
Yeah.
It was a good vibe between the three of us when we were on the show together. That was real cute when that lasted for a couple of weeks.
And I got that feeling too. And
I think Elisa misses you.
You don't fight with anybody that you don't really care about.
That's right. That's right. That's right. You don't fight with somebody you don't actually care about. Because if you don't care about them, you'll just turn your back on them.
Okay, so I will say that is true. I will just say this to Weezy. To me, facts matter. And the fact of the matter is, I didn't take anybody from her show. She asked me to do the interview with Mark, and then I asked her about doing the interview with Charmin, and it was yay, do it, and it was there was a sense of joy. So
I understand that. Can I say something real quick? I think that had it gone well, we wouldn't be having this conversation.
But Charmin,
let me agree with all that, Coach. I mean, what I'm saying is, the same could be said about this show we're right now. Should things go fucking sideways, but it's not that way right now. Nobody, I don't think I think that was mean, that part, but I don't think you were trying to grift or climb. I think you were trying to help her. And
I believe that.
And there's a real question that's just below the surface. And the real question is, how much are you influenced by Mark?
I'm not. That's the whole point. Do you see that little question that you're asking? That is a bother. That's no little question. That's a big question. Little question, big question, the only question. I am not influenced by Mark. And so that is, I guess that gets in my crawl because
on record. Okay, but is Mark trying to influence you? Because you are going to be the first. You are the first person in history that's claiming he's not promising connections, Hollywood connections, music star connections, YouTube connections. I will produce your show connections. You're the first person ever not to have that complaint ever.
And
he didn't.
Coach
Mark hasn't done anything for me. He hasn't done anything to me.
Right. Let's not play the word game. He hasn't done anything because you haven't allowed him to. But I'm getting at is he offering? Say it. Just say it. He's offering.
I said that. Listen, just be very clear. There was 5 minutes before I came on the very last show, and I was backstage, and it was no different than me being asked to be on anybody else's show. It was like, would you do this show with me? Okay, yeah, no big deal. The very next thing I know, Elisa's accusing me.
We're drifting away from the question again, and the statement here is, if you say that Mark is not doing that, then you're the first person in history. And we keep going left, right, under,
And
over.
let me throw my
Let's
2 cents
stay
in
on that.
on that one, because it seemed in the first interaction between you and Sharman and Mark struck me like the guy had charmed you, you know, and I think, I don't know if either one of you knew about his history, and what bothered me, Coach, and this is a tough question for you, is knowing either if you didn't know the information, then there's not a problem, but if you did know the information and then you just go on his show, that was upsetting to me, you know, because it's like, oh yeah, he's paid his debt, okay, yeah, and he has, but he's also slandered the victim in that case and her father and done everything to deny the charge, and he's not like Bob. He's a convicted felon, and you asked that hard question, and we got Sharman's look, which is priceless, but that didn't sit well with me. That it seems like you guys kind of knew, you know, about his history, and it's like, well, he's paid his debt, yeah, okay, but the facts of the case and the fact that he's convicted, you know, it's like that didn't matter. Which
there's a problem with that plea deal. How if he abused her, how he isn't on any kind of registry.
Exactly.
Right? There's a
It's right in the
problem
plea
with the
deal.
plea deal. And it all comes down, for me, with the way the plea system works. The plea system works against people.
Yep.
Right? Just like Bob said, he thought he had that case beat. And then they came back and told him, you know, you take this plea or we're going to come back at you for something else. Our system has double jeopardy.
Whether they're going to do that or not. It's a man's opinion on whether they go after him or not. It's not fair.
And Mark's situation was not the same. You know,
can I jump in here because John said something very specific about me, and it is this. You said that when I went on Mark's show, to be clear, I've never gone on any of Mark's shows. That's just not factually true.
Oh, then forgive me if
I thought you had, just because of today's conversation.
I thought you were on ladies talk. So forgive me if that's not the case.
No, she never made it on to ladies talk. Yeah.
Okay. My bad.
That is my whole point. False narratives, the people opening up their mouth, not just you, John, and acting like, Coach Love was on his show or she was doing this. I didn't have any freaking connection with him once again, but for Lisa asking me to do an interview, I had no connection. When she put that narrative out there that I was in connection with him, it was like, what are you talking about? I would have never been talking to him but for you. Why she started saying that was it was a bother. And you want to know what? You proved my point, is that she was getting into people's brains and using me as content, just making up lies. It was false. It was 100% false.
And Coach,
that's why I didn't like it.
I apologize and I retract, you know, that because I just misspoke, and I thought both of you were on there, but I think you said that even today that, yeah, he's paid his debt, you know, and what, yeah, and he has, but, you know, as far as, you know, it was like, then it's no big deal. And the offense is a big deal, whether he's paid his debt or not, you know, and
all right, guys, we gotta move on. We're getting
let's move on. We're never gonna get through the show.
We're not a wrap up any longer here. Hang on, let's move on.
Breaking news today. I want to get to that first, but then soon after that, I'm going to bring on your alleged brothers.
That never happened.
What happened to them?
That would be really cool.
What happened?
I would love to meet this guy.
I wanted that to happen.
The first time I met him, he's a complete opposite of me.
His twin.
Well, we'll see what he's like. So what is news that I've been hearing about? You said you had big breaking news today. What is that news?
Well, I decided to, you know, I've been hiding.
It feels like a 30-minute story.
Yeah, it was pretty long. Yeah.
So before I get started,
I was on a cement mixer.
Believe it or not, first and foremost, Kermit.
Get to the point, Bob. Get to the fucking point.
Also, I want to thank Rodney Haven.
There he is.
John Taylor.
Thank you, Bob.
Rick
Isn't he the best?
Because without him, I never would have faced all of this and come out to tell the entire story here today, which is what I'm going to do.
Okay.
So he thanked us. Okay. You're welcome.
Let's take a little soul searching. I had a little talk to some people here.
Turn that down a little bit. Maybe we can talk over it at the same time.
Okay. I want people to understand that this case was deferred. It's deferred.
That's true. That's true. He told the truth.
He even he made his charges sound worse.
That is,
yeah, he did. That's why I went on there and corrected him.
Yeah, thank you.
I was always able in the past to blame it on my twin brother. It's so funny.
Everybody believed it.
Nobody did. Not even me. I pretended I did.
Wheezy. Say it isn't so.
But I don't say that, actually. I'm so glad to say it. Here's the deal. I was turned down a job over this one time. I had to turn down one of the most gorgeous petite black women I ever met. Who was begging me to have
I love how you threw petite.
Yeah, it's like, what does that have to do with this, Bob?
Her because I had this stain on my record at the time.
Gorgeous petite.
This happened when I was 23 and 24 years old. I had met my then future wife and invited her over to my apartment. She came over and she brought with her then best friend. My best friend at the time was 5'2", 305 plus pounds.
I wanted to know how much his future wife weighed. Was she like $150?
You could roll her on her side. She was
I've heard a lot of insults, but I've never heard that one before.
Yeah. What did he even say? You put her on her side and she looks like she's standing
Look like she's standing upright.
Okay. All right.
Broad.
Get you over here. So I can understand her not wanting to drive home. She could sleep on the couch, right? But instead of going to sleep on a couch, my then future wife, she lays down on the couch. So her friend goes and lays down on my freaking bed. Now, keep in mind, I live in a very small one bedroom at two. It's not big at all.
I love the Inquirer.
It's not big at all. It's tiny. And we got the kitchen, it's got the bedroom, got the bathroom.
Oh, slingshot. Oops, how did that go?
Yeah, that's me.
What happened was,
that's me.
Get out of the bed for them to switch. She didn't want to. She didn't want to move. She was tired, drunk.
Leaves putting all this shit up.
You gotta understand. I didn't want to call the cops on her just to get her out of my apartment because I understand.
You should have done that, Bob.
That's pretty much it.
He regretted that decision.
I'm removing the whole fucking show to watch. That's pretty much it. There's a big long show to go, but it's just that. It's Bob Moore saying that, and then it's don't say that no more. And then the rest, the big bulk of that is Coach and Elisa going at it on the phone. I don't want.
It was a 3-hour long podcast. 3 hours.
I don't want to push that. Yeah, it was big, but it's the same thing repetitively.
What all do we know about all the paperwork Elisa was served last week? She had a bunch of things served to her.
I know this. Oh, should I get into it? I know this much. WITZ was mentioned. WITZ. Yeah, this is breaking fucking news. She said, "Hey, you want to report this?" I'm like, "Okay, what is it?" She sends me a protective order. Cover page. It's something wasn't right. And I told John, I go, "Man, I ain't doing this shit. Something ain't fucking right about this. I'm not going to go live. Something ain't right here." I could have went live and I could have said all kinds of shit that probably could have got me in trouble, since this guy that's filing this thing on her is willing to go to court, and he's screenshotting pictures of guns and statements I'm making. And it's like, oh, wait. That came out much later on. Like,
who's that guy?
The guy that filed the protective order on her.
Neighbor. The neighbor. That's
he basically he was saying Elisa was going to sick her fans on me, and then he had screenshots of WITZ and guns.
Yep.
Like,
now
which you didn't get. What you didn't get
Weezy, you mother effers. You probably didn't know Weezy, but yeah, you did. Look at that grin.
No,
Y'all didn't know that. I could have got my fucking tit in the ringer, I think.
That's funny.
Because you know how I am. I'm all like gung ho.
I read that restraining order, and it sounded a lot like the one Mark filed on us. It's like total bullshit. Yeah.
But she won it. She won it, and I'm glad to. I'm glad she
won it too.
So she said now anonymous woman's serving her with papers.
Anonymous woman asked for her mailing address, so I suspect that's what
Cease
that
and desist. Well, she won't get it because we'll all just go tight lip on that bitch.
Mark
well,
called me.
you know, the thing
Mark
about a
called me.
cease and desist is that you can keep going as long as you're telling the truth. She can sue me.
She was
can
also
fight it in
willingly.
court.
She was willingly on the show. It doesn't matter if she's staying anonymous or not. That's just
she just became a public figure. Oops.
That's what's important to me. It's important
I'm not even a lawyer,
for
and I
me
know
for
that
this
one.
story to be in the public domain because it's easier for me to deal with it.
Sharman, you know, when you talk about the little oddities when you're with the doctor, the biggest oddity that I see is they look just fucking alike. They look like they came
I didn't
from the
want
same
to say that. They
gene
look like
pool.
they could be related. Did
They
you look
look
up
like
that
they come
address
right
like
out of
I
the
asked
same
you to?
gene pool.
Did
I
you
haven't
look?
got
I didn't
to
want
it.
to say that, but the way he
Twins.
looked at me, the way they walked, the way they talked, they could be related.
Yes,
Like,
yes.
No, look.
I
Did you?
swear they
Did you
come
have
out
a
of the
chance to
same
look up that
gene pool.
address I asked you to?
No,
I'm
ma'am.
telling you, if that's not a universal sign right there, I wouldn't be surprised if they were roommates in college.
They look alike.
Maybe they were twins.
I wouldn't be after a six pack. I couldn't tell them apart.
Let me tell you,
Yep.
the first time I
twin
laid
thing just
eyes
keeps
on
coming
him,
back
it
and
was
coming back.
just like, oh God, how did I do this to myself again?
Hey, WITZ, remember when I came on here and we were mean to each other? That wasn't me. That was my twin.
yeah. Wheezy came in the lion's den that night.
Oh God, there's two of yous.
That'd be horrible.
It's 4 against 1. I'm like, yeah, we're in here.
I was pretty bad myself, dude. I was like fucking. I was snowballs. I was like freezing them and making ice balls. You know, making them hurt.
Yeah, with a rock in the middle of the snowball. Like,
Yeah.
The only thing I do regret, and I would like to apologize to Christina because I was being a total dick to her.
Yeah. See, there's what's supposed to happen.
It's true though. I was
polite
being a total
society.
dick to her. I had no.
We'll get there. We'll get there.
And texted me. So I'm glad you're going to address that, Weezy. Address that.
Good, yeah. I just said. I mean, I shouldn't have talked to her like that. Regardless of how I feel, I still was super disrespectful.
Hey, you want take over the show, Dumpster? It's yours too. Take it over. Dumpster, take over the show.
You definitely don't want Elisa to quit.
Elisa won't quit.
Well, Tony just said Elisa will quit if the court cases continue.
Well, he might have a point.
We need to get her a good attorney.
I don't think she's going to be sued for anything. You know, she might get a cease and desist.
Can we do like an intermission and just talk about how
Christina,
hot
I'm
Elisa
sorry about your
is?
son. I'm sorry to talk shit about your son. I am. I'm sorry about that.
Thank you, Wheezy.
No problem.
And, you know,
Thank you,
if Bob would do that simple thing that you just did,
Are you
I don't have a. I'm not married to this like Bob is.
yeah, I know. I'm just saying, you know.
Yeah, but no, I was out of line for sure.
So they're asking for Sharman and I's discussion. Should we do that?
Sure.
What do you think, Rob?
I'll be right back.
You're the captain of this tugboat.
Well, go ahead. We're not going anywhere.
Okay. Yeah.
Let's do it like this. Sharman, do you mind? Your face is a little bigger than everyone else's. The Spanish
I don't really like it, but I'll do whatever I got to do.
Well, whose face do you want big?
I mean, not whatever I got to do, but you know.
You call it. How do you want to do this? Let's change
That's
it up
fine.
like
The
this.
two of us together.
Like that. Like two.
Can you put me in?
It don't work that way unless we all go backstage, and we're not going to do that because we might get questions.
Yeah. All right, we can do it this way.
The guy in the cowboy hat, I know he's got a couple questions. He always does. He can't go anywhere without asking questions.
It's a good thing. We can do it like this. We can do it like
Yeah,
this.
this is fine.
She's right up.
Well,
she's right up there.
Yeah.
I did want to highlight somebody. Okay, now we'll do it this way. No,
Tony
that don't
Tony
work.
wants to see the clip about my costume.
Tony.
Tony wants to see
where-
the clip about my costume. I don't remember
tell me
where
where
it
to
was in
find
the
it.
show, though. I don't remember where it was in the show.
Tell Tony to send me a link. Who are you talking to, Christina? I appreciate that, and I apologize as well. Thank you.
Wheezy.
She's talking
I
to
think that's her
Wheezy.
and Wheezy, yeah.
Wheezy, cam back up,
Good deal.
and talk to to Christina here. Wheezy, cam back up.
He might have went to the restaurant.
This is not an avatar moment. Well, when he comes back, we'll hit him up.
Yeah, that's good. I like to hear that. But that's
it's all good. It's all
What
good.
questions you want to ask?
It's all
there he
good.
is. The dumpster.
It's all good. She said it's all good. He apologized.
Did you see
Okay,
that?
Christina, it's good. I'm glad that we can put that behind us.
Awesome.
See how much better this show is than Kermit and Friends. We solve things here. We do.
Real conflict resolution.
Problem solvers. Wow.
Watch out. Dumpster Rick's up top smacking you with his dong on top of the head.
No, I wouldn't threaten anybody. Threatening people is silly, especially online.
Yeah, or by phone. But so okay,
Yeah.
so we're gonna do, and it's
wait a
not
minute.
an interview.
Tony,
it's a
Tony
discussion.
wants to know who the urban cowboy is. Let's
Who is the urban cowboy?
The guy with the glasses and the cowboy hat.
the urban cowboy's right here. Hang on, we'll get there.
That's legal
Damn
Latino,
it.
man. That's
Damn it. We got
that's legal Latino?
That's what they're asking.
Oh, I've seen him around.
There
Never
you
seen
go.
him.
This the legal Latino Spider Man.
legal. Get it right, Tony. Legal Latino. I think
It's
that may be
legal
Tony's
Latino
twin.
Spider Man. He shoots a web and he swings through the air. Hey, babe, ugly.
He's got a whiteboard for all his tricks.
That could be Tony's twin asking those questions. You just never know.
Are we good there, Tony? Okay, let's go.
Let's dumpster get on. He's got that hat on.
Let's get on with this interview. The fireman
All right, here we go. And
and the Charmin.
and this is not an interview. This is going to be a discussion, and I'm glad we talked a little before the show, and I had this question from day one, so this will be really kind of the only interview part. I would ask Charmin, what are your goals as far as AW goes going forward?
I want criminal charges.
Okay.
I want criminal charges.
Prison for life.
And I heard that today, and I highly respect that, and that's really the only reason that we're still in this with Mark. And I was trying to share my experience with you, and I'm going to try to assist you. I've got to call into that detective, because in my own experience, if that's, and there's a little caveat there, if it's still going on as it is with us, with Mark, do everything you can to get criminal charges. If you can get evidence like police reports and things like that, definitely pursue it. But if it's stopped, I would, and if it stopped with us, we'd probably walk away, at this point. But that's obviously both of you have had a really bad interaction, and if criminal lines have been crossed, I highly encourage you, and I think, it was great to hear you say that.
Well, and it was great to learn this week when I spoke with an attorney that in the state of Florida, it was illegal for her to record me without my permission.
There is something.
Sure is.
There's something.
Yep. Yeah. And for me, it's about so much more than just the money and the embarrassment and the humiliation. Like, she coordinated this.
She also hurt your vagina.
She hurt me. Permanent physical damage. Permanent.
We got breaking news. Captain Save-A-Hole is cammed up.
That Captain Save-A-Hoe.
Captain Save-A-Hoe, is that what that is?
Rick's got costumes. He's got everything. So, that being your goal, I would support you and encourage you in that, because that's the only way. If this is going on, the only way that you're going to get these people to stop is through the legal system.
There's a lot of fake accounts stalking me and harassing me and my friends and family too. I can't prove that stuff is her.
Well, that's what law enforcement is for. And we had a short discussion, and that's what I'm trying to assist you in is if you can get police reports, if you can get a history of past behavior, you can go down to like we did, to your DA or your Commonwealth attorney and have them prosecuted. And the problem is, and the problem we ran into was the threshold of criminal behavior. And if it's a misdemeanor and they live out of state, they may file it, but there's very little point in filing it because it just kind of sits there. But as we were instructed, and they would instruct you, I'm sure, that if it continues, and you can also, it sounds like with the information you can get a restraining order, and that's what Harry did in Mark's case, and Mark violated the shit out of it. And now he's looking at felony charges, and it becomes something real. So you can, I heard you talk about a restraining order, and you think you can't get one, and you may be wrong.
I mean, I couldn't get a restraining order against my ex. My campaign worked against me.
Well, that's another issue, but you're going to have to, if she's continuing to do this, okay, and or you have evidence of criminal behavior that's already happened, you have to go that route again. And we didn't want to go down to the Commonwealth Attorney's office and spend the time that we did, but we had the guy calling our hometown, telling everybody we're pedophiles, calling a vet, and telling them that we poisoned our animals, and that didn't meet the threshold. They could have charged him with misdemeanors, and they asked us, and we're not interested in that. And we were about to go that route again, and we can go to the district court and the judge, and probably very similar where you're at. And Harry beat us to getting the restraining order, and now Mark has violated the hell out of it, which usually means felonies. And we're still going. When Harry process starts getting adjudicated, then we can lump our paperwork onto that, and it gives us precedent. And you're just gonna. I would highly encourage you to do that, because that's the only way that, if they're continuing to do it, that it's ever going to stop. Right. Rick's got his bunny suit. So
I want to see Rick in his bunny suit.
You have such cute little clips.
It sounds
that
like
one's topical.
It sounds like you're headed in that direction, and that I totally support that. And you may not be just aware of how much you can get done. And if you've had a problem in the past, that's a problem in the past, and just persevere. And
some things have changed, right? I've moved, and I landed in a really great spot between two people have really good connections to the police, and they're both helping me. And so I'm expecting there to be some changes coming.
There you
as
go.
long as you don't have to do anything that you don't want to do for them, because I know cops can be shady.
Well,
you don't have to jack them off or anything, right?
Well, no. One of them is an old woman who has held their feet to the fire for the last 5 years. She
Good.
has a heck of a reputation, and she has heard my story, and she's willing to help me, and I'm really happy about that.
That's awesome.
The old man, he might try to blackmail me into something.
Yeah, the old man's gonna try to get you
His
to
help
check him
might
out.
be contingent upon something. I'm definitely leaning towards the old lady. I like her a lot more.
I'm mad at Rick because I
have anything with me.
I was
Rick
supposed to
found
dress
your
up like
Santa suit.
Santa. Yeah, he found it. He must have stole it. What a jerk.
Rick, did you steal Wheezy's Santa Claus suit?
I can't believe that. I knew he did it.
No.
I'll pay $20 to whoever sits on his lap.
When Christmas time comes around, I'll show you
Hello.
guys a video I made of Santa. A rap
Oh,
video.
and what I wanted to tell you too, Sherman, I think we in this conversation we have a common bond in being survivors of child sexual abuse,
Yes, we do.
and that is a difficult minefield to navigate, and it seems like you're navigating it, and it seems that some in my history and in my past, I seem to hook up with people that just weren't good for me, you know, and
The monsters see me way before I see them.
yeah, and
Yeah.
that's what upset me about Mark, and it seemed like he just latched on. Maddie was sharing, you know, that he was suicidal, and all of a sudden Mark's blowing his phone up, and we were pretty sure that he was manipulating you, and you know, I think you've turned the corner on that. That what made my day today was two things. Mark promised that he'd never contact a member of KF again, and then you hung up on him.
Yeah, that was nice.
Like I kept saying, I gotta go. And finally, I was just like, you know what, I gotta go.
That was perfect timing. It was so great.
Perfect time. It worked out really well. Yeah.
Yeah, he just left like totally defeated.
Did he?
Oh yeah.
Sorry about that. You know, I don't want any more drama with anybody. Like when he showed up and his story was so similar to mine, right? I took it as a sign from the universe that I was going to have to start dealing with my drama. And he said that he knew how to make money off of his stalkers. And I was like, great, I'm listening. What you got? And then he wanted me to write his book for him. I'm like, dude, I don't think you understand how hard it is to write a book. You're asking me to commit to 6 months to a year of my
Needs to
life
keep learning how
of
to
writing
sing.
your story,
For
and
free.
I might we might sell 10,000 copies, right? Maybe, and I'm going to get 50% of the book proceeds for a year's worth of my work and all this drama that goes along with it.
And a question, even if you wrote it, who would read Mark Connor's book? Who would buy
I mean,
that?
if everything he told me was true, he's got a pretty good story, but I don't know who would read it. The thing is, a lot of people don't read books anymore. You have to have some sort of major scandal in order for them to want to read your life story. Most people don't have that.
It's not like
these
Travis
days.
Tritt, you know, is asking you to write a book for him.
Right,
you know?
right.
But I think, you know, and I was proud of you when you because he was trying to manipulate you again at the end of the conversation, and it was like click, no.
Well, when he said that thing about did you ask me to do a podcast? Did you ask me to produce a show for you? No. No, I didn't. I didn't ask you. You volunteered. You came to me and offered me.
Yeah.
And I've said several times, I don't want to do that right now. I want to clean up my own mess before I move forward with anything else. Like I can do a bunch of things half-ass, and I can do a couple of things really well. And if I spread myself too thin, I won't take good enough care of me. And my biggest priority is getting my mess cleaned up. And you know, Mark was mad at me a couple of weeks ago. Tall Dark sent him some text messages, tattling on me. Tall Dark and a tattletale, tattling on me because I talked about Mark. And I told Mark, I said, have you watched the show yet? And he said, no, I haven't. I don't have time. And I said, well, I don't have time to talk to you until you do. Right now, my biggest priority is me. And most of the show was about me. It wasn't even about you. Right now, my biggest priority is me. And I'm going to take care of me. And I'm not getting distracted with you and any more of your drama. I have to take care of me. I don't want to make any more enemies. I don't want to upset anybody else. I just want to clean up my mess.
Yeah.
And I was selfish.
Yeah.
But
that's
it's
what you
honest.
got to be, and it's not selfish. You're putting yourself first, and that was hard for me to do, and sometimes it's still hard for me to do. But I was really impressed with where you were, and it's hard. We were talking about this too. When you have one of these stories where a certain person is just wearing you out for years and years and years with whatever, usually harassment, and in our case, I think it's the same in our cases. And you're trying to tell this story, people don't understand it. They can't. It's too big. And but you refocusing on what your goal is, which is criminal charges. That's what our goal is. That's really cool. So.
And I want to talk about this digital penetration thing.
That's just fingers,
with Mark's
right?
case.
Is that fingers?
Right, it's fingers, but Mark's case is a statutory case, not a violent case.
Hello?
Statutory is often consensual, and that's where I draw that line.
Okay, now I'm going to have to stop you there because a 15-year-old can't consent. Okay.
I was a 15-year-old girl, and I can assure you I could consent.
Well,
and I'm not going after any of the older men that dated me.
Under the law, Charmin, you can't consent.
I agree. I understand.
And that's if we don't stick to the law,
I agree.
What do we do?
But it is statutory, and that is often
it was
choice
aggravated statutory because
he's
age.
more than 10 years older than her. Correct.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. And
there's manipulation that goes along with that type
there
of stuff.
Absolutely is.
That's what made me sick.
There absolutely is.
That's what made me sick, because he was doing the same thing to that 15-year-old that he was trying to do to you.
I don't know what he did to that 15-year-old. I wasn't there.
Yeah. Well, what I'm saying is he offered her, and if you read the documents, he was offering her, to make her a country star, and he's offering things to you. And, it's that predatory, behavior that and he's also slandered that victim, said she lied, said her father was the one that was molesting her. I mean, it's a different thing from Bob,
Yeah, Bob's story is very different. Bob's story is very different.
Yeah.
And I would like more to Mark's story. I've asked for more documentation to back up the statements that he's made, and he hasn't. And that's a big part of the problem.
Yeah, and if you want documentation, ask Harry Brogan. He got every court document on that case, and I think Mark.
I mean, I don't really want to be drug into a case from 2011. This stuff happened in 2007, 2011. At what point in time does he get to move on with his life?
If he raped a girl, never.
But this daily prosecute in the court of public opinion, and he never gets to move forward. That's not okay either.
Well,
when does it make sense?
It really depends on if he's guilty or not. If he's guilty, I hope that's the feeling he has for the rest of his life. But if he's not guilty, you're right.
He certainly doesn't feel like he's guilty.
Yeah, I'm sure he doesn't.
Do we all define digital as rape?
Well, most guilty people don't.
Yes.
They justify it.
And there was more.
We got questions in the chat. I mean, to me, any unwanted touch,
of course, yes,
is rape. That penetrates is rape. So to me, digital
for sure.
Tongue, object, foreign object.
Right, as long as it's
all rape.
Not
it's all
consensual. As long as it is not consensual.
And if you're 15, it can't be consensual. But
that's where the waters get
I think there's a lot of 15-year-olds out there making consent.
In Mark's case, my research tells me that it was consensual. She was head over fucking heels in love with him, and he took advantage of her with, "I'm going to help you with your music career." I know Dolly Parton.
It's right in the police report.
That lessens his charges for sure. Like that makes
it goes with the grooming process.
It is definitely part of the grooming process.
It's no different.
It is definitely part of the grooming process.
But they look at it differently. When they go to prosecute, they now look at that situation differently, and they don't take into consideration, usually, they don't take into consideration the grooming aspects of it. They just said, "Oh, well, she wanted it."
Well, grooming is definitely something that is coming up more and more often.
Yeah,
And
and
it's
I'm
something
glad.
that gets talked about here in this community. And that's one of the things I like about the community is that they're willing to have tough conversations. And even if I'm wrong, I listen and I learn and I evolve. And that's part of what I like about this community.
And Sharman, I have no interest in adjudicating Mark's case. The problem I've had with him is slandering the victim, slandering her father.
Well, and then like for the instances when an 18-year-old and a 15-year-old go together.
Yeah, and 46 years old
is way different. 46 years old is way different than
here's
that's
one.
true. And we all agree on that.
Completely. I mean, like, it's fucking disgusting.
Right. We all agree on that. But I'm still back to the, I believed Mark's story that he didn't touch her. I believe that he tried to help this mom escape this horrible environment.
Oh, I'm going to kick you off the show. Interview's over.
Sharman,
I think that Mark is a monster just based on everything everybody said. And I'm the guy that was defending Bob.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm a good judge of character usually. But Mark, he's a slippery snake and I can feel it from a mile away.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, each state is different, right? One of the things I've talked about is states' rights, and each state is different. We don't have a federal set standard. And there's a lot of things that are being done now to revoke a teenager's right to consent at all. I think that's going to backfire on people too. I think as soon as people,
like you said, if it's 18 and 17 or 18 and 16,
right,
that's different than 46
there's
and
usually
15.
a Romeo Juliet law, right? Within so many years, teenagers isn't an issue.
It changes so rapidly too, because my grandparents got married when they were 16.
That they put in California is that 10-year.
Hi, WITZ.
Yeah, they did do 10-year in
Granny.
California with 13-year-olds.
That's fucked.
And that was not right. That's not right.
Yeah.
And I certainly would like to speak with
the consenting parties. It's no longer considered such rape. But
Sharman, I'd like to speak to you. This is Granny 14.
Hi, Granny.
Hi, WITZ.
Like a 20-year-old, a 10-year-old? No.
No, a 20-year-old and a 10-year-old, absolutely not. We all agree on that. I don't think anybody's disagreeing.
Granny's got a question for you, Sean.
I don't have a question, I have a comment.
Oh,
I
sorry.
read the documents thoroughly. I got them from Harry Broken. He was as guilty and should not be walking free. Now,
then I'm back to the problem with the plea deal. What are we doing to fix the plea system?
The thing is, as a 15-year-old, if a parent is not watching their child, and you're letting them be with a grown man that's grooming you, what's wrong with that parent?
Oh, I think
everybody can tell a sad story. Well, you know what? Everybody could tell a sad story. Your kids could tell a sad story. My kids could tell a sad story. But it don't mean that's a real sad story. The poor me is so easy to use. Oh, poor me. My mom wouldn't let me go with my friends. I'm mad at my mom. I'm going to go tell somebody a big old fat lie. And they do it. And I'm sorry. I read the papers from front to back. And it's disgusting.
So if we're back to
pretty bad.
What's the problem with
Sharman,
the plea deal?
How
do we fix it and make it right for the victim?
You're talking
that I agree.
He truly was abused.
And that I agree with you. I do.
Yeah.
Truly.
How do we like one of the reasons why I talk about all this stuff is because it's so screwed up. And I have so much respect for our police and our law enforcement because this is hard. Like this is really hard. And we hear all these stories all the time. And it is nationwide. The plea deal, the false accusations, whether or not somebody's being railroaded or not. And we have to find a way to fix this. Because all of us deserve better than what we have. And I think we're smart enough to fix all of this. Like, I truly believe we have a good system. It's not the best system. It's only as good as the people who run it.
I think we need better judges.
I think there's a lot of things that need to be done.
I agree.
all the way
I just-
across the board.
May I
And
make just one comment here? And I apologize for interrupting. But Tony Stark, let me inform you something. I don't kiss people's ass on the internet. I whoop their
Well, the
ass.
problem is
And
not the police.
first
I think
off,
the problem is
on
Uh-oh.
Corey's channel, when Mark came on there, I told him if he
the-
wanted to
the
bring
news-
his scrawny ass back
I was
onto
on
Corey's channel,
a
then zoom his
show
fucking
for-
scrawny ass down. So don't you tell me I kissed that goddamn pedophile's ass.
Watch out, Tony.
Oh,
Don't piss
Grandma.
Granny off.
The beast is
Granny. No, but like, it's
Get some,
one of
Granny.
the reasons why I
Get
talk
some.
about it is because I really feel like we have a good system. It's only as good as the people who run it. It
Get 'em,
needs
Granny.
some tweaks, and if we apply the right pressure and we do it correctly, we can fix this,
Yeah.
and we leave a system that is worthy of our kids to live within. None of us want to worry about false charges coming against us and being thrown in prison for the rest of our life. We
Yeah.
there has to be a better way than what we're doing.
And let me address what you're talking about, Charmin, and that's all I'm getting. My stomach's starting to turn.
I think the
just talking
problem
about
is
Mark.
with the media because I was on the set of 2020, so I worked production with ABC, and there was, and she
Cutting out.
I lost her.
Yeah.
and she was so
Is that girl?
it was the Kim Kardashian. So this girl was raped by a man, and he was arrested. Well, Kim Kardashian tried to get him off, and what had happened was
that girl. You're cutting out.
Are you there? Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're cutting out.
Losing you. We keep.
Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
So what happened when I interviewed the family, the reporter was kind and Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Hello? Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Hold on. So how much did you guys hear?
No, like bits and pieces.
Not much.
Hear me now?
Nothing. We couldn't.
Not much.
Okay. So what happened? Nothing. Is it better now?
Oh dear. Yeah, you get like
hear
a
me
few
now?
lines out, and then it disappears.
Yeah, it's horrible.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm trying to work on it. Is it better now? Can you hear me?
That's for now. Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay. So Kim Kardashian tried to get this guy off playing the race card. Well, but then later on the DNA came out and it showed that there was a positive that in the rape kit that the man, it was him. Well, so when they were doing in the midst of it on the set of 2020, the reporter that did that story was very kind to the family. But when they were doing the interview, she played that racism victim card to as much as she possibly could. The mother of the girl that had died, she was elderly and probably had, the beginnings of onset dementia. And she manipulated her and just try to make her look at as stupid as she possibly could. It was the most horrible thing I've ever seen. And it was all about division and breaking this country up. And it was just disgusting. So the police not only have the media portraying them as dirty, but then there also are the dirty cops that do play the brotherhood of the badge. And it's a difficult situation. And then too, if your DA isn't going to back you up, there's nothing the police can do.
Nope.
It's all,
That's true.
once it gets to get to the DA.
Yeah.
Once you get to the DA, it's politics.
That's true.
And
That's
I
true.
couldn't even get past the police. I
But-
couldn't even get the police
but-
to help me.
well,
They
we're-
have
we're
to
gonna
file a
change-
report
we're
and
gonna
submit it
change
to the
that if we
DA.
can.
And
But let
Yeah,
me just address what both of you are kind of saying and what Sharon brought up, and because I follow all this stuff very, very closely. And the Me Too movement and Epstein and Larry Nassar have changed the game.
Yes, they have.
Okay. And it's not perfect by far, but I tell you one thing, if Mark did what he did today, he'd be going to prison for a long time. So it is changing, and you know, we're a part of that.
Yeah, and that's something that's so important to me. Like I can't tell you how many times I've said I don't have to win, right? It doesn't matter to me if I win or not. I have to draw attention to issues that are important to me, give good ideas to help streamline the system and move the needle. We're stuck. We're damaged our relationships, the male female dynamic, and we have to evolve through this, and people have to be willing to have tough conversations. They have to be willing to be criticized when they are wrong, and they have to be willing to do it in a way that gets people to engage. This is important. Our country needs this. Our kids and grandkids need us adults to fix this before they're responsible for it. And those kids are calling us adults out for it. Like, this stuff is messed up, and what have the adults done to fix it? And we got to find a way to do it. And now is the best time ever. We have the most technology. We're the most educated we've ever been. We have the ability to make real change, and the people are engaged. It's like if we do it right, we can make this right for our kids and our grandkids, so we can die and leave them here without us, and they're all going to be fine. Like, if we do it right. And that's where my heart is.
They're starting to sexualize kids in kindergarten. Like, going back to California.
Yeah. No, but have you
they're
seen the
teaching them
Shirley
about
Temple
sex ed
videos?
in kindergarten.
Well, they're also teaching Aaron's Law in kindergarten, and that is one of the best laws that has ever been passed. And we need that nationwide in every state. We need these kids being taught in school that sexual behavior towards them is inappropriate. Our kids deserve that. The teachers that I have spoken to.
It needs to be taught at home. Don't let someone touch you. You cry for help. You tell them to call your grandma, and grandma will come down and whoop their fucking ass.
With a shotgun.
Not everyone's grandma will.
Exactly. Oh,
right?
hell,
Like, if
this
they could
grandma
call
will.
Granny, if they could call Granny, Granny will whip some ass for sure. And we need Granny in this fight. Absolutely. Like,
everybody.
Not everyone at home teaches
And I agree.
Bad.
There is parents that don't care. They just have the kids for profit or whatever. But
I know what it is like to be raised by a mother that doesn't want you and a father that wants you for all the wrong reasons. And if somebody at school would have told me that what was going on at home was wrong, you know, how much better would I be off today? And so this is a great law that an abuse victim has been pushing for over a decade, because she felt like if somebody at school had helped her, she'd have been better off. And this is where being a brave, bold victim can make a big difference for other victims, right? Because there are kids, you can't be a survivor until you admit you're a victim, right? When I first started dealing with it, everybody told me, you're so strong, you'll be fine, don't worry, it's not a big deal. And I kind of had to get to the point where I embraced the fact that I had been a victim before I could really become a survivor.
It's a journey.
It is. And everybody's is
a
different.
coaching journey.
It is.
When I was having coffee with Nicole Simpson's sister, Tanya Brown, and the new movie came out about OJ, killing Nicole. And I said, how do you do it? And she gave me the best advice. She goes, anybody who tells you to get over it has never experienced what you've experienced. Your experience is very unique, and it's your very own. She goes, every day you have to learn how to cope. Some days are going to be easier and some days are going to be harder. You just have to find your healthy coping mechanisms to get over it. And I'm also a survivor of, child abuse and sexual abuse. And once you realize that and then I understand when you're a victim, you're looking for somebody to help you heal. But the important thing is the only person that is going to get you to heal is yourself. It's the accepting of yourself and saying, you know what, I'm going to choose to pull the good things out of it. Even the most horrific, evil, dark things, you can find goodness in it. It's going to make you stronger. You're going to be able to be empathetic to other people. You're going to be able to help other people cross over from victimhood to survivor. There are good things in the bad situation. You just have to choose to do that.
I agree.
Here.
It took me a long time to get to the point where I could look back and look at some really bad things and say, you know, something good came out of that.
You know what makes me feel good listening to you women, and that what happened to you, you didn't let it debilitate you. You have a life, you have children, you taught your children the right way, what to watch out for. And a lot of women, it debilitates them. It really can take them down. And it didn't you women. And I have much respect for you, because right now I could cry because just hearing what y'all went through. And I am so sorry you had to go through that.
It took me down for a while. It took me to my knees for a while. It took a long time to crawl back up to my feet. And
yeah,
we're glad you're back.
It's a process,
Sharman. It's a process. It's a process,
I don't know.
And I don't have it all figured out, right? Like
I don't know about you, but the most important thing, and it took therapy, it took other means and other people that had been through it. But the most important thing, when I turned the corner, is when I realized it wasn't my fault.
Yeah, I don't think anything that happened to me was my fault, but you know, one of the things about the little old lady that I landed next to, she told me that she wanted to show me how to hold every agency that failed me throughout my life accountable. Right? And I'm not that old that this isn't something we've been talking about. Child Protective Services has been working on this stuff long before, you know, it shouldn't have been the issue that it was.
Another broken system.
Yeah. And I think that's Child Protective Services was the only one that was good to me in my mess, you know. So they can all benefit from some changes.
Well, I think probably the thing is that we need to stop looking at government agencies to fix this problem. It's a community effort. It's discussions like this. It's
all of it.
Community forums, and it's just being available to other victims, because you're going to be fighting to bring these agencies to justice for a very long time. Bureaucratic, I can't say it. All the bureaucracy is just a bunch of BS, and it just gets backlogged and you have to wait for a month to hear from a board meeting and But if we are a community and we have outreaches, we can help those people. We can help bring them tools to overcome and be stronger and be better, and let them know that they're, you know, for me, in my situation, I felt like I was dirty. I felt like I was a piece of trash after it happened. And in my particular case, it was my sister. I was in a blended family. She was 10 years older than me. She abused me from what I understand from 3 years old. But when I came out with it at 6 years old, my mom, I remember her through her gritted teeth calling my name, and she's like, "Don't be disgusting." And ever since then, my mom painted me to be this lying, you know, she would put me down in front of the church, and I couldn't even tell my dad. And you know, my dad wasn't interested in being a father. And you know, it was my journey, and it was until I was 38 years old till I finally realized I need to cut these toxic people out. But this was a journey that was my own, that I can use to help others.
But wasn't there any grandmas like me that were willing to fight? I'm telling you, somebody touched
after
one of
my
my
parents'
grandkids,
divorce.
I would kill. I would beat someone so bad they would swear and be damned they saw God because they were so close to believing.
You know what happens, Granny, and it did in my case. You don't tell anybody, you know. And my mother, if I'd have told my mother what happened, somebody would have been murdered. But
my mother caught my father and didn't leave him.
Oh.
And by the time my parents divorced and we moved out to Idaho and got away from him and I got to meet my grandma, you can bet your behind she'd have beaten the daylights out of him. The stories my uncles told about my grandma,
yeah.
But she wasn't around when it was happening.
Hi, Christina.
See, we're raised. Yeah, I told my kids when they were little, and we're raising 5 grandkids now. And I tell you, I have told them, I've went to the school, and if you were to talk to school, they tell you this is a grandma not to mess with. She don't mince words, and she loves certain cuss words, and that's just the way it is. That's how she is. And they've dealt with me for 10 years, and I'm telling you, I mean, we get along, everything, but I don't play when it comes to my grandkids. Just like I didn't play when it come to my 4 kids. I just don't. Those are my precious.
You're surrounded by people who gave you the strength and the space to be the strong woman that you are. And that girl told a great story that's so important. For a
I got
long
that strength,
time,
Charmin. My mom.
you were
Because
lucky.
she was where you were.
You were lucky.
She was where that girl is.
That girl told a really important story about how you know her mom didn't believe her, and for a long time our families silenced victims through shame and protected the predators. And that's one of the things that made last year and the Save the Children thing so difficult, is because no one ever cared about us before, and now suddenly everybody cared. And so we have to continue keeping that momentum moving, because I tried to teach my kids, right? I really feel like I did, but I am slow to use the rape word. I've used it more here in this community than I probably have in my entire life, because I've always been told victims just run around accusing everybody of rape. And I figured if I use the right words like fellatio and penetration and assault, it would make my life a little easier. And that hasn't been the case either. It is such a tough topic of conversation. There's almost no right way to do it. So I've just kind of embraced the concept that I'm just going to say whatever I'm going to say, and whatever happens, happens.
WITZ is telling us the show is ending in 50. I just want to
It's
say
good because I need to finish this beer. And
take
these eyelashes off.
I just want to thank everybody up here. There's common bonds here. Charmin and I talked about ours. I have a common bond with Rob, Rick, and Christina, because we're all survivors of Mark Connors. And I have a common bond with Wheezy, though he's not here. We're both musicians, and if we concentrate on our common bonds instead of our differences, we'll change the world one person at a time. I love you guys. Thank you. I'm honored to be on here.
Thanks for having me on.
John, I am sorry. I acknowledge you. I did the women, and people do tend to think that it only happens to women, and it doesn't. It happens to either sex, and I apologize.
I love you. I love you no matter what. So good night, everybody. Thank you.
Good night, John. What a great group.
We'll be in touch.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good night. Good night.
Good night, John.
So I just like 2 things, and then I'll hop down, and then the show can continue. First, I think Bob's full of shit. That's my opinion. I think it's all horse shit. Secondly, Charmin, listen, the way you prance around, I'm a survivor, all right? And the shit that I heard come out of your mouth last week was disgusting. You just told me, and I don't like liars. You said, well, I didn't read. I didn't know. You knew enough, though, with you and Elisa to think it was this hee moment about the digits, the digital penetration. So don't tell me you didn't read that, because that was in the documents.
John read that out loud on Kermit and Friends.
I'm not done. See, you cannot just talk like this. And I think you're a bullshitter just like Bob. I think this is a pathetic kumbaya. I love people with heart, but you're making a mockery out of survivors. And that 15-year-old girl, she went through, you know, you say you're a survivor, right? She went through what you went through. It's always going to stick with her. So think about her before you throw out stupid ass comments like that. Thank you. I appreciate it. And no, people, I'm not a bitch. I'm actually a nice person, but I don't want survivors fucked with.
People say bitch like it's a bad word.
Christine
I
is a
personally take it as a
wonderful
compliment.
woman,
I'm sure
and
she is.
she's a no-nonsense
I'm
type
sure
of lady,
she
and I
is.
love her for it.
And I appreciate her feedback. I'm not going to be mad at her for her opinion. I appreciate it, and I will grow from it. And that's really, that's all I can do.
I appreciate that. And I, you know, I come off, you know, like a bitch. I do. But
You don't have to apologize to me for that. I'm okay with you being a bitch.
I appreciate you saying, you know, you'll try, you know, not, I mean, I just put myself, I thought about her when that was said, and it just broke my heart. Cause you know, when you're a survivor, that's a life sentence.
And for me, it really does come down to how violent it is, right? If it's consensual and nobody got
can't
hurt.
say that. No, Sharman. You
Well,
can't say,
You can't, at 15, there is no
every
consensual.
person.
You can't, at 15, you can't make a decision.
Wow.
You're too young. I mean, at 15, you're just becoming a teenager.
Yeah, 15 is young, but we've got kids that are doing that.
Right,
and
but not 46 old.
Well, let's do everything we can to address this, because this does have to stop, right? The plea deal that allows him to get away with it, that has to stop. There's so many
Well,
instances
here, Sharman,
where
but here's the
plead
problem
down.
though, is when you're going online and you're coddling these people who are, I mean, for instance, Bob has verbally assaulted and threatened multiple women.
All of us.
And
all of us.
All of us. And it's well documented. And he's done it on Kermit. Like, it is repulsive on the things that you guys have coddled him for. And that, and being, you know, you say you're a victim, but yet you parade around and encourage that. That is shocking. And that's where, you know, I don't
encourage my fawning response.
No, you encourage them to continue to harass and harangue their victims, and it's horrible. It's really horrible. And I
feel like I'm encouraging them to harass their victims.
He is harassed. I mean, he's very, what he does on the Kermit and Friends, I think is just disgusting. And for the Me Too movement and for those people who support it and then have him and then encourage him to do that, it's hypocrisy to the ultimate extreme.
So one of the things I've said on Kermit and Friends is that when I wrote my book, when I started this process, I thought the problem was a lot smaller than what it is. And through the last few years, I've realized the problem is a lot bigger and a lot worse than what I thought. There's a lot more pedophiles than I thought. And at this point, my concern is, how do I honor the victims and get the predators to stop offending? And I don't know if it's through the plea system. I don't know how to make it right. But for me,
why are you on a show?
Because I try. Because I'm trying. I'm trying to move the needle and move the conversation.
But it's
a
not
very strange way to, because you're re-victimizing survivors of harassment and assault.
And it's certainly not my intention.
Well, I mean, I'm glad we're having this conversation, because I mean, for clickbait or whatever, you know, fame or trying to promote your book, it's shameful.
I don't think the book's ever going to go anywhere, but that would be nice. My more interest is getting people to have this conversation in a way that's healthy. So instead of it resulting in us just yelling and screaming at each other and threatening to kill each other, we find a way to actually heal it and move it forward. That's my interest.
Charmin.
Yeah.
I'm Team Charmin.
Yeah.
I don't care what anybody says.
Man, please.
Washi,
Yeah, why
I'm
is he
here.
on here?
Hi,
Hey, Bob.
everybody.
Bob, do you want to tell everybody how you threatened my son? Do you want to
No,
tell?
because I never did, so I'm not going to talk about it. So
we'll have to play that.
Here's the thing. I sent Rob that link to that individual that we need to link to anonymous woman. And when I have a chance in private, I will explain to him why that connection is
Bob,
so
you're
important.
one of the biggest liars, so why wouldn't you even consider anything you say? Everything
quiet,
you said
Christina.
is
You're the biggest liar on the panel, Christina. If you
What's that?
open your mouth, you're lying, Christina. So shut up.
That wasn't even me talking, Bob. Clean the cum out of your ears.
Well,
I
whoever it is
fed up
talking,
with you, Bob. You
Just like
threatened my son, his school. It's on tape. They have it.
I didn't make any threats.
No. You
But
didn't
you
dox
claim those
me?
are threats.
You didn't dox? You didn't dox?
No, I legally doxed you. I didn't illegally dox you.
No.
I didn't give your address out.
You know what, though? You gave out the wrong name, Bob. So somebody else, yeah. Now
that name has been linked to your cell phone number for the past 8 years.
Them and tell them that
Okay, yeah, but it's the wrong
Hello,
name.
WITZ.
Knife Point. Somebody held somebody at Knife Point, and they're throwing your name around, and they're associated with a guy.
Yeah, okay. Believe what you want. Believe what you want, Christina. Send the goddamn FBI, the cops, and Homeland Security, and the goddamn Marines too.
Listen, you did it. You
That's
said
how scared I am, Christina. Woo-hoo-hoo,
you're
you got
bad,
me
Bob,
scared.
and all these people protect you, and it's gross.
There ain't nobody protects me from nothing, Christina. I can hold my own, especially against a lying tramp like
They
you.
lie for you. It's gross.
Christina, you sound so believable that you're full of shit. Just shut up.
Bob, I could back everything I say up.
No, you can't. No, you can't. No, you can't. All right, let's do this. Let's do it. I'll show you my cell phone at the same exact time and date you show me yours, and mine will show it.
Bob, you've always manipulated your cell phone, Bob.
Huh?
You've always manipulated your cell phone.
No. Cell phones show if you deleted a message. So let's do this.
No, it doesn't. Bob.
While I'm doing this, Christina, I will delete a message, go back to that message, and my cell phone will show you that I deleted a message.
I'm talking about you threatening my son.
I don't know what you're talking about. I think
live.
You know the problem here is if I say one thing, you take that to another extreme, and you believe your own conspiracy theory bullshit.
Oh, it's true. Did you hear it? Because the guys have it.
I don't care what you got. You always take shit out of context to make shit people look bad. You believe what you want, Christina, but nobody believes you right now. Your problem is, Christina, you would be believable if this was your first time backstabbing me, but it's not your first time. It's your third time, Christina.
Bob, do you like doing that?
It's your third time, Christina.
Feel powerful,
it's your third time, Christina.
Hey, Bob, does that make you feel powerful?
Does it make you feel like God Almighty because you
I can't help it.
everybody believes you just because you open your mouth and you're a female? Stop hiding behind your cunt. You're not allowed to use a cunt card in here, bitch.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, that's a good one.
C in cunt, okay?
Well, guess what? Guess what? You don't get an apology from me ever in this lifetime. Until you get down on your fucking knees and beg me for a fucking apology.
Bob, hell,
Bob, welcome to the fucking stream.
You gotta be on some fucked up drugs, Bob.
Where'd he go?
Hello, WITZ. Where are you, WITZ? Are you? Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I don't know if we're.
Where's WITZ at?
Where is he?
Happy Halloween. I didn't get in all this gadget for nothing, you know.
Damn! Look at that rack.
I know,
Yeah,
right?
nice rack.
What a beauty.
And they jiggle. Look,
nice rack, bro.
Very realistic.
They got liquid silicone in them. They jiggle real well.
Wow.
There's my Charmin.
Liquid silicone, is that kind of like the water bras that we had back in the late 90s, early 2000s?
Well, this is a lot
that men complained about was false advertising.
That's false advertising. You take a girl's
was
bra,
false advertising.
and you're like, God damn, I've been looking at the titties all day. Take the bra.
Hello.
I can hear you, WITZ, but
Are you okay? Are you okay? Bob's backstage.
Fantastic.
Are
you
you
look
okay?
great,
I said
Joni. You
what I
look
had to
great,
say. I'll
Joni.
mute. I'll
I'd
let him
pity
just
fuck
run his
myself if
mouth.
I was him.
Lie.
Well, he's not anymore. He
Busted
took
my
off.
titties tonight.
He took off. I just wanted to know that you was okay and you weren't being,
Well, no, I don't care. I see.
Okay,
That's the
well,
thing.
he's gone now.
After
He
my
left
kid,
now, so.
WITZ.
I'm not.
You should have been
I'm
here
not
for
a woman he
tonight.
wants to tangle with. I fight back.
You know that,
Uh-oh.
WITZ? You should have came here for tonight. We talked
Yeah.
about it.
Regardless if you like Bob or not, he
You
does
got
make things
you got
exciting.
your show. I got my show. I had to do my show, man.
Yeah, I got to get off here because
Yeah.
the kid's like, how long does this thing last, Mom?
We're
All
over,
day?
man. It's over with. It is over with.
Okay, bye,
So
friends.
long, so it was a good time. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate you guys.
Well, I ended my show.
Even
so
if I
I
made you mad, I appreciate you telling me that.
Well, I appreciate you listening. So
Yeah, I mean that's the only way we're going to get any better, right?
communication is the key.
Yep. I'm not going to get everything right. I'm going to make mistakes,
We all do every day.
and
None
you
of us-
should feel free to call me on it.
I mean, none of us are perfect. We all
Nope.
fuck up.
Yep, we sure do. We sure do. And the only way we're going to fix this is if we all talk.
Right. I agree.
Thank you, Dumpster. Thank you, Latino. Thank you, Wheezy. Thank you, Sherman. Thank you, Coach Love. Thank you, Christina. Thank you, Fireman John. Thank you, Granny.
Don't
Thank
forget
you, Chrissy
me.
Ann. And you're a latecomer. And thank you, latecomer, Joni B. And thank you, T-Bob. We really didn't solve anything tonight as far as it seems to me. We live in a sexual assault rape country, rape culture. We may not have solved the world's problems yet, but here are the facts I picked up off of the show tonight. Rape culture is real. Sexual assault is a constant threat for women. If there's not an explicit consent, it is assault, whether it be tongue, digital, instrumental, whatever. If it's not explicit consent, it is assault. And yes. And there's no quick fix that's gonna bring us out of this toxic culture. But here are some easy steps we can all take. Let's not blame the women. I don't care if she was wearing what she was wearing, or if she went to his apartment. If she didn't want it, or if she did want it, then it's not her fault. If she doesn't want it, it's not her fault. Respect others' boundaries. I thought this went without saying, but when someone tells you to stop for any reason, guys, stop. Ask God. I cannot emphasize this enough. In any romantic, physical, or sexual situation, ask, check in regularly. You know who your supreme. Whatever they call that, your higher power is. You know who that is. Check with them. Is it okay? Check with yourself. Are you enjoying this? If you're not enjoying it, am I making you uncomfortable? You may be one of them. Whether you've been with someone one night or a decade, listen, people, consent is the key. And love is an empty word without respect. We're off live. Y'all can rip each other to pieces now.
Am I the only female still here?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, it won't be any fun in ripping you
I
fellas.
couldn't get
to
where the
pieces.
edge was.
Rick, you tapped out.
Huh?
I said, Rick, you tapped out. You didn't even try to speak. You were just like, I'm tapped out.
Hey, when I see a bunch of women talking, I just sit in the corner.
I didn't get a chance to really talk to, because I had to step away. I didn't get a chance to talk to Granny and Christina. I think there's some fiery women. I'd love to talk to them.
Yeah,
So.
we can't get it all. We can't get it all done in one shot. Not in one shot anyway. It takes time. Put too many hours in on this. Everybody gets tired and cranky.
Oh yeah.
And I get drunk. I'm fucking snockered right now.
Really?
I drank the whole show. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Then I'll let you off the hook.
You got to. You got to. I'm not stepping out in front of nothing right now.
I'll let you off the hook then.
I knocked the shit out of a 12-pack. Didn't drink it all, but I put a big dent in it. So.
All right. Now, what's this gentleman? Is your name what is his name? There we go. Well, I knew you said Latino, but I was like, legal Latino? What now? Okay, legal Latino. How long have you been around? Yeah. Do you like it? Yeah. He said boomer American. Okay. Where are you from?
Listen to that microphone he's got. Don't that sound like a radio station?
I don't know. I think it sounds regular.
To that. No, man.
What kind of mic do you have?
Radio. It sounds like a radio guy. Pretty good.
All right. All right. Well, keep watching. I don't normally yell at people. You know what? Yeah. I didn't even call in to, get into it with Lisa. Actually, that call. It was a promotional call, for Charmin and to say how good she did, on my show because I didn't even.
Coach, I got a question.
Yeah.
Was you pacing when you was on the phone with Elisa?
I went in the kitchen to get some water. I did.
You was, wasn't you?
No, I went in the kitchen to get some water though, because you want to know. Yeah, I needed some water because I needed my throat got dry, so I had to, take a sip and finish what I was saying. Who wants to be, I don't know.
You gotta just let it roll off. This shit is 99% what it is. It is what it is, and then the next day,
exactly. And you know what I think she should do? I think they should let it. I think they should let it roll off. Let them let it roll off. Whatever I had to say, let them roll off.
You are a fighter.
You know what? I'm freaking nice all the time. And so you want somebody to let it roll off? Let them let it roll off. Okay? I'm nice and I help people, and that's a freaking fact. But there's one thing about love. Love is truthful. I'm very truthful. Yeah, I keep it very, very real. I didn't even call in there to fight with her today, or say anything bad today. I wasn't even tripping off the little goofy video that she made. I thought it was funny, but she started trying to go in on me. I'm like, slow your roll. I'm gonna tell you the truth. I'll tell you the truth. But anyway, I don't care. It's all good. She wanted me to. I did that her after show or whatever.
It ain't you and her. It ain't you and her. It's all about Mark. Mark was trying to steal her show, point blank. He was trying, and you were about the third or fourth person, not the first. He started with Barry. I know because I set the shit up. I know, and I know what he was doing and why he was doing it because again, I set it up. I'm the damn guilty person. So he took Barry first, then he took Charmin, then he took you and Charmin together.
No.
And then and knowing his history, he was stealing her show.
So let us be clear. Let us be clear. Number one, you can't take me. Number two,
you got took.
How did I get taken? Where did I go?
Yeah, I think he promised you tech for your show and connections. I really do. And nothing's going to change my mind. If you deny that, happened, then you'll be the first person.
I'm just telling
you'll be the first person ever to deny it.
I am telling you this. Literally, I am hanging out backstage, about to go on Elisa's show, before we're all logged in or whatever, like 5 minutes, literally 5 minutes before before the show. And he goes, "Hey, do you want to do a show?" I was like, "Sure, I'll come on your show, no problem." The next thing I know, fast as we're on there, and all of a sudden, Elisa's saying that I'm leaving her show